Come on, everybody get in here. Good morning. We're back with another episode of the Bald Brad Show. And I got to ask, and I'm probably asking this a little bit too early, but you can have some fun in the chat if you would like, or in the comment section if you're watching this kind of after we're live later in the day, because you weren't on time. It's okay, neither was I. If you could pick any era to live in, like any decade, I guess, to be more specific, what would it be? And you might be asking, that's an odd question to be asking at 6 a.m. in the morning, Brad. You never ask questions like that. You've asked us what type of coffee we like to drink or what we like to drink in the morning, but you never asked us this one. We've been with you for 5 years plus. Well, you know, it kind of sparked me right before I sat down. I was pouring my cup of joe, my nice cup of coffee. And if you notice, I haven't taken a sip out of it yet. And the weird thing with it is it's piping hot. And it was piping hot yesterday. It's piping hot again today. And I pulled out an ice cube. Yeah, I pulled out an ice cube. I know. And I was wondering, I go, man, that's just really convenient. You know what I mean? Just really helpful just to open the drawer, just boop, just drop in a nice ice cube. And then I thought to myself, I mean, I was literally walking with the ice cube to drop it in to come here and do the show. And I go, I wonder what era I would do well in. And I've thought about this in the past. It's not the first time, okay? So stop it. But, like, could I do without ice? Like, could I do, like, what could I live with? What can't I live with? And then I got a little weird about it, you know? I mean, this is all happening fast. It is. It wasn't, a 30-minute thing. It was like a 2-minute thing. I'm thinking like slightly after World War II. Because I really loved the 30s and 40s. I loved the music. It was, simpler times in air quotes. But at least, you start getting into like the refrigerator. I could do without a microwave. Stuff and appliances on when they exactly came out, a little fuzzy on. But I love to read, just relax. There's no like social media and the chaos. You know what I mean? I think I would do well. So again, if you're just joining us, we're wondering what era or decade you think you would do well in. Jeff says the 70s. I'm surprised, Jeff. You don't seem like a 70s guy. I'm surprised. The type of guy I would say Jeff is in. Jeff is definitely like a 1910, 1920s, just laying into people. I think you would do well in the 10s or 20s, Jeff. Anywho, good to see all of you. Oh, well. Dude, that's still crazy hot. And I put a big ol' ice cube in it. Alrighty. Speaking of hotness, let's start cooking, baby. Here we go. Senate strikes overnight deal to pay for TSA agents in bid to end airport chaos. So while we were all sleeping, the Senate, the government was actually working. Mizzy says the 50s. The 50s, that's a good one. After weeks of airport meltdowns and unpaid security agents, the Senate finally blinked. So you just put people through this for kind of no good reason? Let's kind of dig into this a little bit here. In a late night vote that stretched into the early hours of Friday morning, lawmakers passed a funding bill to reopen most of the Department of Homeland Security, a move aimed separately at ending the travel nightmare and getting TSA agents paid again. The deal comes after a brutal 42-day partial shutdown that left travelers stuck in massive lines, airports unstaffed, and TSA officers working without pay. Some quit, others called out. The result was exactly what you would expect: chaos. Now the relief may be on the way. The bill funds most DHS operations and is expected to restore pay to TSA workers. Either way, they always do this. It's always retroactive. They were going to get paid no matter what. It's just, for them, that sucked because you're not getting paid and they still expect you to show up to work. Easing pressure on airports that have been pushed to the brink. The deal on the table still needs to clear the House, it looks like, before heading to the desk of the president, but momentum is clearly there after the overnight breakthrough. But there's a catch. The legislation leaves out funding for immigration and custom enforcement and parts of Border Patrol, setting up the next fight in Washington. The battle is not going away. It has just been delayed. Now, Democrats were quick to claim that they held the line on immigration provisions. the part that blows my mind is like we're at a stage, speaking of a decade, we are at a decade in life to where the Democrats are just open to have our borders infiltrated by these randos who we don't know who they are. It's mind-blowing just in my lifetime too to see how that party has changed just so drastically. And don't get me wrong, yes, the Republican Party has changed itself too, but not in any way, shape, or form that the Democrats have. Barack Obama was against immigration. Now, how he handled that, yeah, he did deport a lot of people, but I mean, still, his words were nothing like they are today with the Democrat Party. And then I always go back to Bill Clinton. You go to Hillary Clinton, even though she wasn't president. I mean, you could go back to a lot of politicians, and now that whole party is just completely evaporated. I don't even know why they're called Democrats anymore. Well, in a Truth Social post just hours earlier, Trump mocked Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer as crying Chuck Schumer. Crying. Saying Democrats made it clear they stand on the side of criminal illegal aliens and not the American people. Yeah, this is exactly what I just said. Who said that earlier? See, Trump, me and him, we're linked, baby. We're on the same page. I mean, as he's reading so fast, I'm reading fast too. We on the same page, Trump. Trump is saying Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are on the side of illegal aliens and not the American people. And by the way, they showed that during the State of the Union address, did they not? When Trump said to stand if you're for putting Americans first. And they weren't. They weren't. Now I'm paraphrasing there. They all sat down because they're not for American first. They're for everybody else first. And that's a very dangerous thing when you're putting everybody else before your own country. That's the question you got to ask, is who are they paying allegiance to? And it ain't Americans and it ain't our country, folks. While accusing them of refusing to fund immigration enforcement unless Republicans agree to open border policies. In the same post, Trump signaled he was ready to step to make sure TSA agents will receive paychecks. Wasn't there something out there where Elon Musk was talking about that he was willing to pay them? I don't know if that was in fact true because there's so much AI going on. But it just shows you that once again, average Joe people, I don't know if you would call Elon average Joe. I mean, the guy's a genius, but you all know what I mean. And willing to step up and actually pay. You don't see Bill Gates do that. Like, where are all these other wealthy people saying, hey, I'd love to pay these guys off? They'll go pay all these other global people to protest. I mean, where's Soros? Soros has a ton of money. Why is he not offering to pay the TSA agents? He'll go pay these protesters to go out there and act like idiots and wipe their cock on Teslas, but he won't pay these TSA agents that are doing great work and trying to make our airports safe and trying to make it, speedy and efficient. Alrighty, so you got that. Let's hope the TSA agents finally get their pay. That sucks, but it's also another reason to not rely on the government for something. Well, we have this here. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, and I will talk about it forever because it's the silent epidemic. Teachers blow the lid on what is happening in schools and why Gen Z is struggling. Now, I have not read this. This is reactionary commentary. We don't look at the articles beforehand. We just look at the headlines, and we dive a little bit deep, and we have a little adventure together. It's like Dora the Explorer. We've seen the same headline over and over. Gen Z isn't dating or driving or drinking or making friends, with record numbers of young people living with their parents and refusing to build careers well into adulthood. Remember when I showed you guys that statistic? This might have been like a year ago at this point, where the amount of parents involved in their kids' life at an adult age was like 60 and above. They were in interview rooms with their children. Now, they're not children when they're going in the interview rooms. These people like after 18, like in their 20s. And they're in the I'm here. I'm talking to the guy, right? And then here's mommy and here's the kid. And they're in the room with them. It's crazy. I think that number was like 70%. It was something wild, dude. I almost fell over my chair when I read that. Living with your parents makes sense. Things are really expensive. Living with them to some extent. If you're passing into your late 20s, early 30s, and you're still with your parents, that's not good. These statistics paint a grim picture of my generation, but this is not my generation, by the way. Whose generation is this? I don't know whose generation this is. Who's writing this article? This statistic paints a grim picture of my generation, but beyond our specific cohort, They point to an overall culture of dependency that is antithetical to the free citizenry of our democracy relies on. No, that's a good point. A culture that was built by the failure of our institutions and especially our schools. Well, yeah, but you're kind of passing the blame to the wrong people. That's what I don't like. Again, I love the Daily Wire, but if you read this, a culture that was built by the failure of our institution, especially our schools. Now, it is about the schools systems. I get why you have to include that. But at the end of the day, and I've always said this, and you guys know this, and it's true, even teachers say it, the parents are the number one educators. So even if the institutions themselves are inculcating this type of ideology or this type of narrative or this type of structure, doesn't mean that you do so in the household. You can make your kid get off his butt at a certain age and go get a job. As to why they're not working at 14, great question. As why they're not working at 15, great question. I was reffing. I was going out there. My mom would drop me off at the ice rink in the morning and she would go, see you later, picking you up in the afternoon, adios. And I would be living at the ice rink when I was a kid. And I would referee games. I would referee ice hockey games. I would do tournaments and I would do just a bunch of games in a row. And I remember going to what was called Disney Ice at the time. And the reason why I always wanted to do hockey tournaments there was because the hospitality in the ref room, they would have this little cart and it had all these snacks on it. And I was a kid. And I was like, wait a minute, I got free chips, free snacks all day. Now, I'll be fair, I don't think my mom gave me money. So Mom, that's on you. Actually, I'm pretty sure you didn't give me money now that I think about it. I don't ever recall buying something. There was one time I remember going to a Burger King and I walked myself there and I think I did have money on me then. But I was working. I just don't get it anymore. Like, what the hell? What are these teenagers doing nowadays? Oh, they're going doing smash and grabs that I see over here at the 7-Eleven. Or there's a smash and grab that happens here or there. Yeah, they're going around creating a muck. Like, what the hell are parents doing? Why have kids? Don't blame it on the institutions. There's blame to be had there, but blame it on the parents, man. If you don't have time to raise your kids, don't have one. As veteran teacher Paula Edwards, not the real name, told IW Futures, a recent documentary, if you don't have a literate society, we don't have a free society. She recounted the abysmal classroom environment in the New Mexico public schools she has worked in, from deteriorating academic and behavior standards to ideological indoctrination. So this is just going to echo everything that I've told you guys for 5 years straight. It doesn't surprise me one bit. You know the teachers you really want to talk to? Is the ones that have been doing it for 40, 50 years. Those people have seen some stuff. You know what I mean? There's a guy that I worked with, really good guy. He's been doing it for 40 years. And so I would always talk to him about how things have changed, what he's seen, and it's everything you imagine. I mean, you used to be able to go in for the most part and just actually teach. And by the way, if that was the case, I would still be a teacher. If I could just go in and teach, and I truly do believe this after doing it, I don't think there's any greater thing than being able to teach. I didn't mind grading papers. I didn't mind doing all that. It's the behavior, the constant talking, the constant disrespect, all of that. It's just, and by the way, you do something and the parents don't do anything. They think you're the problem. So I don't need to rehash that. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just reading the article in a little bit, it's everything that I've been preaching for the last, how many years. Hey, so how come everybody's over at YouTube? Is Rumble not working well? And the reason why I'm asking is because I wonder if it's my bit rate that's happening. So I stream at a higher bit rate for better quality. And I'm wondering if Rumble's having a problem trying to handle that. So I'm streaming at 2K, maybe 4K. And I'm wondering if Rumble's having a tough time dealing with that. So let me know. Let me know why you guys are over at YouTube. I'm okay with obviously everybody over there. Let's see what we have here. Oh, I need to go back over to the Twitter. And it's Friday, so I want to spend more time in the chat. Friday, remember, is a more loosey-goosey episode. I got a lot of notifications here. What's going on? What's happening? So I'm trying to figure out how to grow on Twitter. And we'll see if it's true. We'll see. Oh, this is the smash and grab. We saw this, but this is what I was talking about. This is what these teenagers are doing. I don't know if they blurred it out because they're minors, because we saw the footage of it that was clear. But this is what I'm talking about. Just ransacking a guy's store, no parents around, right? The sad thing is that they're all black kids, and it's like, all that does, unfortunately, it's a sad thing. I don't think people should do it, but all that does is people look at this and then you build a stereotype for yourself. And then when somebody mentions the stereotype, then you get upset that they're mentioning the stereotype. But if you don't want that stereotype to happen, shouldn't you work with the community to not make this type of stuff happen so that you could change the stereotype? Like, every race has a stereotype. And people say it's racism. So every stereotype has a sense of truth to it. Has a sense of truth. You can't handle the Brad. Only got 1080p though. We are just being quiet. Oh, okay. I was like, man, the chat is just lit up on YouTube. And the moment I mentioned Rumble, all of a sudden you guys come out of the woodworks, huh? All of a sudden you get a little attention, and now you want to write in the chat. Okay. Hi, Brad. I got a notice. My phone told me Rumble was running hot, so shut it down, basically, but I didn't. LOL. F this phone. Let it blow up. Get that lawsuit. Get that money. And then donate some of it to me so that I can have some money. All right, excuse me, man. My coffee is still hot, dude. I can only take little baby sips, you know? I'm telling you, it's not. Don't call me a little girl here. I'm telling you, this thing's piping. It's the real deal, man. Holy, what's going on today? What do we got here? I want to see what kind of gets our fancy going on. Democrats block. Oh, let's do this. Republicans led by Senator Mike Lee attached the amendment to a veterans bill. I guess Democrats block Republican voter photo ID amendment, calling it a simple photo ID requirement for voting. Every Democrat voted against advancing it, falling short of the 60 votes needed. Proponents like Stephen Miller questioned the opposition amid non-citizen voting concerns. If it's not, I've always thought this was weird. I mean, it could go both ways with what I'm about to say. If it's not an issue, if you think that it's not happening, Democrats I'm speaking about, then what's the problem with the voter ID? If illegals aren't voting and everybody can get an ID, which most people have to do like a real ID in California, then what's the problem? Let's see what this lady has to say. It's a good reaction thumbnail.
We're talking about the wrong part of the SAVE Act. Yes, the voter ID part is an issue. Yes, a lot of Americans are going to be disenfranchised despite what the Republican Party is telling you. No, most states will not accept your real ID. The truth is you're going to need a...
Are you really going to be disenfranchised, or are you just going to have an inconvenience in your life to where you have to go get an ID?
Passport or a birth certificate that matches your current ID. And if you're a woman that's married, that probably won't be the case. So you're going to have to go and deal with that. This is a voter suppression bill, pure and simple, from a group of people who don't think women should vote in the first place. And this is their first step towards that. But we're still talking about the wrong part. The other part of the SAVE Act that no one is talking about is that the states have to hand over all of their voter data, their voter rolls, their voter information, your private voting records to the federal government. The federal government is then going to put it in their system. And then every 30 days, they're allowed to purge the voter rolls. This will give the federal government the ability to take anyone they want at any time off the eligible list of voters. And they can do it once a month. The system they are suggesting they're going to use has already been shown to have chronic problems, has already been shown to randomly take American citizens off the list for no reason. We know that the Republicans have been using random voter purges in states like Georgia and Texas to deliberately disenfranchise Democrats. So now we have a bill that not only disenfranchises women and the poor and the working class, we have a system in which the federal government can pick and choose who it removes from the rolls.
I don't know if this person's a Democrat or a left. What is this person? Hold on, we'll find out here in a second. Believer in truth, facts, and the American experiment, National Times bestseller, and a return to common sense. Follow me elsewhere. If you have such a problem with government doing things, then we wouldn't want big government, right? So she has to be a Republican because Democrats want bigger government. Maybe she's independent. Might be an independent. I don't know. Or she's old school Democrat, I guess, but that would still be bigger government. Because she's talking about, well, you're on the rolls. They're going to know who you are. They could take you off. There's all truth to that. But they can get access to the state stuff, I'm sure, if they wanted anyways. But that might be a stupid thing for me to say. I'm not super knowledgeable on that. But there you have it. The thing of like women can't vote, that's not, stop it. Can we just stop it? They can vote. Jeez. Like, is there a segment of people that think that women shouldn't vote? Yeah. I'm not one of them. I don't care. Dude, I got enough to worry about in my life that I'm worried about some broad down the street voting for somebody. I don't know. I've met a lot of guys that probably shouldn't vote, but they can. I mean, we've all met people that are like, dude, you are voting. Yo, you are voting. That's freaky deaky. All right, so we're getting into some sad news. Normally, I don't want to bring the house down, but this is gonna really piss you off, and it's also gonna make you really sad. This is gonna fire you up. And I'm gonna keep it together. And I've been really good since starting the show again. I haven't lost my ish. I haven't done crazy rants like I know you guys like to get me to do. I've been good. I haven't been cussing that much. I'm like a new guy. So check this out. Elderly veteran dies after being pushed onto subway tracks, illegal alien charged. I've seen this type of stuff like happen so often where I'm even super cautious when I go down to the pier because I live on the coast. If there's somebody around me, I even keep my head on a swivel. I don't spend too long on the edge of the pier because it's always in the back of my mind that somebody is going to flip me over and throw me into the water, which I guess I could swim back, but I'm not a big fan of the ocean, which is odd because I spent a lot of my youth in the ocean. But I mean, I'm talking like the dark part. Like I can't see down there and there's sharks and there's freaky deaky stuff down there. But anywhere, you know, like you're just standing, waiting for the crosswalk to go and somebody can come up and just push you in the middle of traffic. And that's what they'll do. And here they do in the subway system. That's why I probably got nobody standing here. You know what I mean? Everyone's probably way back here because they know. An 83-year-old, listen to this, U.S. Air Force veteran was shoved onto subway tracks in Manhattan earlier this month, has died from his injuries, and the suspect, identified as a Honduran national in the country illegally, has now been charged with second-degree murder. So, unfortunately, this man would still, not have, he would still be around. He would still be around if this guy was never in the country at a rate of 100%. Now somebody say, well, it can't be 100%. Something else could have happened to him. I mean, in connection to this guy that pushed him. Richard Williams, a grandfather, succumbed to his injuries on March 17th after the March 8th attack. Look at that warrior, dude. Just still pushing out almost 10 days after. You know what I mean? The guy was battling. Hell yeah. At the Lexington Avenue, 63rd Street station on the Upper East Side, according to authorities, a suspect, 34-year-old Hernandez is his last name, was arrested on March 10th at a homeless shelter. Following Williams' death, prosecutors upgraded the charges from assault to, he was only going to get an assault. Not even attempted murder. You pushed a guy onto a subway track. Like, what do you think would happen? An assault charge. So he goes out and does it again. So if this guy would have survived, then it would just be an assault charge. And he'll be out there doing it again, shanking somebody in the neck or doing something crazy. And you all know it too. Matter of fact, he probably wouldn't have gotten any time. Get an assault charge 24 hours later. See you later, buddy. We're too crowded. Go back to your homeless shelter. Push another person on the system. Make sure they get hit by a subway next time. What a bunch of dicks. I'm so tired of this crap. I'm so fed up with this crap. I'm wondering at what point everybody else gets fed up with it. When we actually start seeing some change by the citizenry of actual Americans. The incident occurred just before noon when police alleged Hernandez pushed Williams and a 30-year-old man onto a southbound F train tracks. Bystanders managed to pull both victims back onto the platform before an oncoming train arrived. Thank God. The second victim, identified as a 30-year-old Rodriguez, was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Williams hit his head on the tracks and immediately lost consciousness, bleeding heavily from the head wound. Yeah, it's especially at 87. You osteoporosis, your bones get more brittle. That's a deep fall too, man. even for a 30-year-old, dude, that guy's going to be feeling it. Can you imagine 87? Even if you're a warrior, you know, the guy's a veteran. Just very, very frustrating. Unfortunately, he was left brain dead following the attack, and his daughter indicated in the days afterwards that he was unlikely to recover. Man, that's just god-awful. So sad. 87, retired Air Force pilot. And he overcame a 5-year battle with prostate cancer. Damn. And is described by his family as having found a renewed lease on life in the months after the attack. Or before the attack, rather. Man. Guy could still be here, folks. And we put up with this shit. I know I said I wasn't going to cuss, but it's true. We put up with this crap. So it's the same. If you notice, it's the same stories. It's kind of like what James O'Keefe said yesterday, where he's putting his life on the line. He's putting his, staff's life on the line, going out, dealing with all this fraud. And for what? Nothing changes. Nothing happens. It's the same story. It's the same crap all the time. And then us normies have to deal with it. Us normies are the ones that are getting pushed onto train tracks or stabbed or deleted on the metro or harassed by homeless people in the streets and all this other stuff. We're all fed up. We're all freaking exhausted and tired. And we're losing years of our lives because we can't go out and necessarily do certain things because you got a-holes taking up the sidewalks, harassing us, beating us, all this stuff. You got teenagers ransacking 7-Elevens, malls, grocery stores. And you want to know who's all part of this crap, and it's Democrats. I hate to tell you, it is. Name a Republican that's for all this shit. Nobody can. I'm sure there's one out there. Don't get me wrong, right? It's a figure of speech. All right, we need a palate cleanser. We need something to boost morale here. That pisses me off. Fucking pushing an old guy onto the train track, you dickhead. Put him down. The guy's an animal. Put him down. He's had mental issues. Well, he's also illegal too, but you didn't care about that one either. So I was like, pick which one you fucking want. All right, maybe this is going to be a palate cleanser. Let's see. I like Vince Vaughn. I like Vince. Find him hilarious. Enjoy his comedies. Enjoy his movies. Wedding Crashers is, to me, one of the top 10 comedies ever in terms of movies. Freaking great. I quote it all the time still. You motorboat inside of a bitch? Where is she? Still in the house? Oh, God. I've been sober for about 8 months now. Anyways, if you've seen the movie, people know what I'm talking about. I quote that movie all the time. Actor Vince Vaughn just publicly called out what conservatives have been saying for years. Late night shows gave up on being funny long ago in favor of pushing a hyper-partisan agenda. I used to watch late night. I'm like, I used to be an owl. I used to love staying up late. I used to watch Craig Ferguson was so funny. I loved Craig Ferguson, his little snake mug. I loved Conan O'Brien. I love Jay Leno. I used to watch a lot of Jay at night because I don't have a TV in my room. You know, you're supposed to be going to bed, but you flip through the channels. But it's just Jimmy Kimmel doesn't. I never found Jimmy Fallon very funny. I liked his movies, and I watched a little bit of SNL. I just never found him funny. Colbert, no. Who else is out there? That's pretty much it. Even when Conan left and went to, was it TBS? I actually moved over to TBS and I would watch him on that. The 55-year-old dodgeball star made his thoughts known during a podcast appearance on Theo Von, who's hilarious. Theo is freaking great. I'm going to have to watch that later. Podcasts have gotten so much more popular with less production, less writers, less staff, Vaughn said. He went on to explain how people seem to prefer podcasts because they look for authenticity. That is correct. And I've said this to people, like major companies that I've talked to. And what I told them is there's a degree of removing yourself from being able to connect to the audience. Like, for example, you guys have asked me when I moved, Oh, Brad, you're still in the closet. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the type of guy I am, right? Wearing shirts, and we used to wear like a suit jacket. The reason why I stopped wearing the suit jacket was because it just got so damn hot that I was sweating like a rabid dog. But there's a sense of authenticity to where it still comes across as natural enough where you're able to go, oh, I could see myself hanging out with that guy. I could see myself having a beer. That's just an average Joe dude having a podcast. It's fun. Just like you're hanging out with the boys, you're hanging out with somebody over a cup of coffee. And that's how I always kind of wanted my show to be. I've always said I'm not any different than you guys. I'm not more wealthier than you guys. Even if I was, it doesn't matter. I'm still a cheapskate at the end of the day. I could be a multi-millionaire like Asmongold. I'm not. But I'm not going to change. Okay. Over the years, I've made more money. I still live, and my family knows this, and you guys know this. I live like I am cheap. Like, I remember my wife had to throw away my underwear physically because they all had holes in it. It looked like Spider-Man when he like had his face torn apart. That was my underwear. And I don't need to rehash this out. You guys know that. It's a big deal when I go buy something because I don't like doing it. But there's a sense of authenticity there, right? You're able to connect with that. I'm sure a bunch of you are cheap asses too. I'm sure that you don't got a lot of money either. So we're all in the same boat here. We're just an average Joe guy. I want to do this out of a closet. Could I have gotten a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom or whatever? Yeah. And then to do like the set, it was a thought. It really was, to be honest. It was a thought. Don't want to. There's a sense of authenticity. And where you get this from is there was a streamer named Ninja. You guys would have seen him. He would have like blue hair. He would do Fortnite. He went on like the late night shows and all this other stuff. He was one of the biggest streamers in the world at one point. And if you look at his stuff, the moment he left his room, his just streaming room, average Joe, and started becoming kind of more famous, you have that sense of removal from the audience. And when people can't connect with you on a certain level because you kind of seem like not somebody they would go hang out with. You're a celebrity. Like, yo, that person would never talk to me. That person would never hang out with me. Then you start kind of losing things. And they start thinking you're losing touch with the reality. You don't really understand the things I'm going through. Even if I became famous, that still ain't going to be me, man. I'm at that point in age where I ain't going to change, dude. Yeah, frugal as F. Damn right. Damn right. Dude, I'll look at a thing and where was I? Oh, I was at Universal Studios, not the theme park. Because I wanted to go see Project Hail Mary this last weekend, and there's an IMAX up there. So we made the drive. And there's a Pink's hot dog. And if you don't know Pink's hot dog in LA, dude, if you're able to get it for your first time, get it, because it's actually really good. A lot of celebrities have their own style hot dogs and stuff like that. Okay. $17. That's before tax. $16.60. I should take a photo for you guys. I looked at my wife and I said, we weren't in there longer than 1 minute. Walked in, looked at the right, and I'm like trying to find the menu. Turned out I had my sunglasses on. My sunglasses with the LED screens will actually make them look dark. So I'm like, hold on a second. You guys are going to enjoy this. I'll come back to this. Hold on. This is story time. Everybody powwow. Get in here. The glasses that I have, which are actually right here, they're, what the hell are these called? If it means anything, my last pair of glasses I had for like 15 years, my sunglasses, frugal as fuck, right? These are called Maui Gyms. Is that what they're called? I don't even know. I got them at Bass Pro Shop, but they look like this. Yeah, you kind of see what I see from my end, right? And they're the type where like they make the water look weird. And if they have screens, it like does something weird with the screens, like a certain type of screen. So I walked in with my glasses on, forgot that I had them on, and I'm like looking around for the menu. Mind you, the whole wall to my right-hand side, like this right here, is this close actually, was the menu. And I'm like, I asked my wife, like, hey, where's the menus at? She's like, they're right here. And I'm like, where? Just a huge, the whole wall was just TV screen. And I take off my glasses. I'm like, oh, they're right there. So anyways, $17 for a hot dog. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe it was a combo where you got a drink and a fry. Even then, yeah, see ya. So my ass walked out of there really quick. And then I went down to the Habit. And I went to another store. 20-something bucks for a combo. I'm talking, folks, this isn't crazy. You're talking about a burger, like a simple burger. A Charm Royal burger. Fries and a drink. It was 22-something with this is before tax, it would have cost us $50 to get 2 cheeseburgers, 2 fries, and 2 soft drinks. No. Bounced out of there. We went to In-N-Out. Now, LA's more expensive regardless, but that just shows you how stupid things are getting up there. Anyways, where were we? Freaking tangents. Oh yeah, authenticity. That's right. I'm always going to be that guy. I ain't going to change. People close to me get excited when I spend money. People get excited when I spend money. I just don't do it. I have the same shirts, the same rough collars. Anywho, okay. Like my jeans have holes in the back. And I still wear them to work, which I shouldn't. But, you know, because you put your cell phone, I put my cell phone in my back pocket. So, you know, the part where you sit down. Do I have them in here? It'll start rubbing. And so I have like 2 little white holes on my butt cheeks like this where the pockets are. And so they look like they're holes in them. I still wear them. I don't give a shit. I got 2 pairs of jeans. One, because I gained a lot of weight. Those don't fit anymore. And the second one I grew back into. Those are the ones with the holes in them. I got 2 pairs of jeans. I got 2 pairs of shoes. That's all I need. I don't need all this shit. Okay, so Vaughn, where are we at? I think that the talk shows took a large part, became really agenda-based. The celeb went on. Oh, you don't have to think, dude. You could say, I know. Oh, he knows. They were going to evangelical people to what they thought. I gotta scroll down, sorry. And so people just rejected it because it didn't feel authentic. It felt like they had an agenda. Stop being funny, and it started feeling like I was in effing a class I didn't want to take. I'm getting scolded. Yeah, he's right. See, and that's why you connect with these comedians a lot more. And we talked about this the other day, that they're just like average show people with more money. Like some of them do change, but for the most part, they're just like us. And he sees it. Vaughn said it was a mistake to blame technology or other external factors for late night show's downfall, saying he believed it was a catastrophe of their own making. Why would you blame technology? Like, you have to be funny. You have to provide people some sort of value for them to watch, especially late at night. I mean, people are laying in bed. Now they just doom scroll because online's more funny than you are. So they're going to go watch that. In the same way, I'm sure people don't like to hear me ramble about silly stuff or talk about myself every now and then. So they'll go to somebody else. And that's fine. If I wanted to capture that type of audience, then I would change the way I do things to offer more value and not talk about myself, not go off on these random tangents and stuff like that. But I'm authentic, at least. I am who I am. As for his own politics, Vaughn said in the past that he most closely identifies with the Libertarian Party and doesn't land cleanly on the right or the left. So he's basically an independent. He's a guy that he might be a single voter type of guy. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter to me. He's funny as hell. I got along with people for the most and always was, always tried to be honest about who I am. But yeah, there's times you feel like it would have been easier. It's almost like a career move. You know what I mean? But I was always the other way too. I'm not jumping 100% this or this on this opinion. Yeah. Meaning he's rational. He's a normie. Not getting a ton of plastic surgery, right? Ripping his face off and making himself look younger and all this other stuff. It's nice to see. Brad is a minimalist. Yeah. Yeah. Palate cleanser. Yep. Just fed 2 people at Culver's for $20. See, that's nice. Our bill at In-N-Out was $22. Now, if I was down south, probably, usually, I think LA is probably 10 to 15% more expensive than Orange County. And we were up here already, so we got, yeah, so it's probably like $17 down south. Still then, dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, things are always going to get more expensive, which is really going to be tough for me to kind of mentally digest, because I've definitely stopped going out a lot more because since we moved, things are more expensive, and I find myself going to the grocery store a lot more for dinner mostly, but we're still saving money because we're not eating out as much. Because I was just asking about this the other night. I'm like, man, are we blowing out the grocery budget? Because we budget everything. We follow Dave Ramsey. And because we're not eating out more, no, we're actually saving money. oddly enough. So anywho, not that you guys need to know that, but budget. Get a budget out. Use a budgeting app, and it's going to, let you decide what you do with your money beforehand. And look, if you don't have money to go out that day, then you got to rebudget for the next month. You got to figure it out for the next month. Got a budget. Use an app. Use a thing. If you don't have money to go out, you ain't going out. That's the way it works. And you're going to feel good when you start saving money. All right, there's nothing on here as far as this that I want to cover. Let's go back to Twitter. We can kind of peruse this together. What does that mean? Don't straight pipe it. I don't know what that means. You guys say things. I'm like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. What is this crap trending on X? Let's just look at it. I just saw this. I don't even know what it is. Let's find out. Russian man jailed 4 years for assaulting girlfriend as Barron Trump alerts police. Barron Trump's a hero. Here we go. Oh boy. Don't even ask. Hold on a second. I'm going to copy and paste this name in the chat. You guys always give me crap for mispronouncing names and words. Matvivi Rumiastvedev. Yeah, give it a try. No. I put it in the chat for you. You guys try to read that word. You guys try to read this guy's name. Oh, you can't see? There you go. No. I'll make sure you can see. No problem. Put on your glasses. No problem. Right here. That's this name. Yeah, give it a go. Yeah. No. I want to hear you say it. Say it out loud. Tell your coworkers to get in. Come on. Tell your family to give it a try. It's a fun game. So while you're trying to read that out loud, a little tongue twister for yourself. Don't hurt yourself. A 22-year-old former MMA fighter attacked his girlfriend in their Canary Wharf flat on January 18, 2025, fueled by jealousy over her social media friendship. This is a lot. I should zoom in all the time like this. It's a lot easier to read. Fueled by jealousy over her social media friendship with Barron Trump. When Trump received a FaceTime call showing the assault and answered it, he immediately contacted City of London Police's 999 line. Is that their 911? 999. That sounds like Hitler, dude. That sounds like some Nazi, dude. 9999. Okay. All right. Everybody settle down. We're having fun. Or like some autistic kid, but 9999, that kid that's down the hall trying to get inside the classroom that's locked, right? The teacher's teaching, can't pay attention. 99999. All righty, where were we? All right, so he calls the 999. Where was I? Hold on. I need to collect my thoughts. Where's Shib? Shib lives in the UK. He'll know. Oh boy. Okay. I'm just. London Police's 999 line from the United States and later provided more details to investigators. Wait. So you can call this number from, should we do it? You can call this number from the United States? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get in trouble. Stop it. Don't, no, Don't have me. You do it. You call it and you let me know how it is. And then you do it first. You get arrested first. A jury convicted, I'm just going to call him Rumi. Romanistev? Is that how you say it? An assault causing bodily harm and perverting justice. Snaresbrook Crown Court sentenced him to 4 years. Wow, he got 4 years on Friday, with the judge praising Trump's responsible action while noting that this guy's lack of remorse. Wow. Trump do it big. There he is. That's really funny. Good for him. He could have easily looked the other way. He could have done something else, but he was raised by a good family. That's what parenting looks like, folks. Do you notice that none of Trump's kids are like psychos? I mean, there's not even a single one. Think about that. And then even his kids, like, I mean, his grandkids aren't even crazy. Do you notice that whole family's like, and for those on audio, I'm just doing the straight, like they're just down the straight and narrow. I mean, think about that for a second. I'm sure they have their problems that they don't talk about. Stop it. Everybody knows that. It's already baked into the cake. Let's not play stupid, okay? You always love that, right? When you have conversations with people. Do you notice? And I'm going to ruin conversations for you guys right now. So if you don't want to hear this, then don't hear it. But it's really going to ruin it for you. Because now you're going to start picking up on it and you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to talk to anybody anymore. This is why I don't talk to too many people and have conversations, because they're boring. Listen to when people talk and they say the obvious all the time. I do it here on the show. You just haven't noticed it, or maybe you have. But it's just like, you'll be talking, right? And you're sweating your you-know-what off. And they're like, yeah, it's really hot outside. It's like, yeah. Uh-huh. It is hot outside. Just, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just this weekend, spend some time, put it in your notebook, put it in your phone as a reminder. Brad said to pay attention to see if people just say the obvious. And there's really no substance to conversations. It's not like you're really learning too many new things from somebody. It's just a lot of obvious things. Hey, what have you been up to? I haven't been going to work, which you already knew, by the way. You knew the person was already going to work, just like everybody else does. Yeah, just take care of the kids. Like everybody else does. It's very interesting. So I just ruined conversations for you. But shout out to Barron Trump for, what the frig is this? Hold on a second. No. Bro, they still sporting the wigs. They're still patting the baby powder on these things. Hold on.
The total and effective sentence I pass, therefore, is 4 years imprisonment, made up of 2 years for each offence, the two terms being consecutive to one another. The time you've already served will count towards that sentence. In addition, I certify you've spent 37 days on a qualifying curfew, and I direct that 19 days will count towards your sentence.
You think it smells? He has a little funky to it. That's crazy. They still sport those. Look at that thing, huh? You think they passed those down? My great-great-great-great-grandfather that used to rule on people. Something like that. Or it's like your dead great-great. I don't know why I said dead twice, but you know what I mean. Great-great-grandfather's hair. That's what you do. It's like everybody, once they pass, has to put in 25% of their hair into the new wig, because you lose 25% as life goes on. So I guess at some point.
It is later found that calculation is wrong. It will be put right by a correction of the court record without any need for a further hearing. That sentence should mean you're automatic.
You think he ever gets a little bit in his mouth? You know what I mean? If you ever have a beard, sometimes you get a little bit of hair in your mouth. You go.
Liable to deportation. But if for whatever reason you are not, you will be released on licence after serving 40% of the 4 years, but will remain on licence and subject to recall to custody if you breach the terms of that licence for the rest of.
Stop it! Holy shit, I almost spit out my coffee. Just watching you guys laugh in the chat is making me laugh. Oh my God. What time is it? Okay, we're still on time. Dude, I completely lost track of time for a second. I went into a whole nother universe, man. I was like astro projecting somewhere. I was having too much fun. Anyways, holy crap, they still doing it. It's just Jesus. Why? What is the point of that? Hey, some people hold on to their culture, man. Yo, you think I should sport one of those? I mean, look, I'm for making, look, I've told you I'm bald. I got no hair up here. I got a little bit of hair. I guess I could grow it out. It would just look kind of thin. It wouldn't look good. And we got a brand, right? That's why we wear the hat. I don't need to tell you guys that, right? You know, watching this show immediately with the beard, right? And the guy probably loves America, right? You could tell pretty quickly. That's the purpose, right? You only got people judge a book by its cover. You got 30 seconds with them. And the moment they see me, they go, yep. Oh, yeah. I know who that guy voted for. I know who that guy is. That guy's all American, baby. That's the goal. Now, if I could smoke a cigar in here and a glass of whiskey and do all these things, I would. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got some time. We're having fun. We're having some fun. Oh, Miss Mom sent me something. Rumblings from the 7th Court over a tense oral argument with USA v. Risha Shah. Why are you sending me names like that? Which would be concerned. I got to check this out. I'll have to check that out at another time. 7th Circuit. Okay, that's good to know. You're part of all my notifications. I'm trying something new on, I think I told you, trying something new on X. Trying something new there. Let's have a little peek-see here. Let's go to California Post real quick. What we got in the chat? It's Friday. I don't know what's going on. Like, things are just going by fast. Now that I started this new job, I don't know what it is, but like, man, my life feels like it's just flying by. You know what I mean? It was weird because I got out of the car yesterday morning, and got dusting myself off, right? Literally. And I go, man, that's weird. Just like 2 months ago, I was a teacher. Not no more. Do they have to share the same one? That's a great question, Angel. Do they have to share the same? Like, they hand it off to the next guy? Do you think they just leave the wig on the desk, and then the next guy just kind of blows into it, and a lot of poof, dust comes out, and he just plops it back on his head? You think anybody's put it on backwards is the question. And I'm sure it's happened. If people could put a bicycle helmet on backwards, I know they've put on that wig backwards before. You get a little sleepy, you're groggy, you're the first hearing in the morning, you know what I mean? You just throw it on, you don't even care, right? You just move it to the side and just wouldn't recognize Brad without the hat. I heard hats make men go bald. I heard that too, but I didn't wear a hat majority of my life because I had hair. But obviously I do it now. This is only for branding. When I go out, I'll put on a hat because you don't want your head to get sunburned. I don't wear suntan lotion. I don't go out that much. But also too, when it gets cold. And when it's like a happy medium, that's fine. But anytime I go out, I wear a hat, but that's mostly for the sun. It's not like, I don't want people to know I'm bald. I don't wear a hat to work. I don't care. I mean, hell, my face on my website, I think it's on my website, or my book is bald. I don't have a hat on in my book. It's author photo, baby. I want you guys to take on this one. I want your take on this one, because we talked about this before, and I said this type of stuff happens. Before I jump into this article, I want to rehash and let's you connect the dots. Do you guys remember me talking about how there's potholes everywhere in California, and it's never made sense because we have the best weather? Why the hell are we not fixing our roads? The potholes here are crazy. It doesn't make any sense. East Coast, I get it. You guys salt your roads. You treat your roads like shit. And rightfully so, because it's snow and you got to get rid of stuff. It's snow plows and all that other stuff. I get it. Well, you could fill a pothole here, right? You go to Home Depot or Lowe's and just get that stuff that just sets itself, like that rotisserie chicken. You set it and get it. Y'all remember that infomercial? Well, you'll be fined if you do stuff like that. Like, you throw it in the brig, maybe. Well, check this out. California dad arrested for repainting, adding stop signs at dangerous intersection. The dude's making his community safer, and he's getting in trouble. All the while, all these homeless are jaywalking, they're crapping in front of your kid, they're masturbating in front of your family while you're trying to eat breakfast at Chili's. They're fine. This guy trying to actually rebuild its community, which is what we should all be doing, by the way. Nope, can't do it. A California dad was arrested this month over his desperate bid to make a dangerous intersection near a children's park safer. His name is Joseph Brandlin. Finally, we get a name here that I can read. 44. And what he did was he installed a 30-inch high signs and painted the word stop on the ground just weeks after his son was nearly caught up in a crash, which he described as the last straw. This comes from the Los Angeles Times, being reported by the New York Post, which is reporting by the California Post. I was almost done and no one was going to know anything. He's like, I almost got away with it. He took drastic action when he and other residents unsuccessfully lobbied city officials for the intersection to be turned into a four-way stop. Well, they know better than you, right? Yeah, no, they know better. In the same way, you know, we have to deal with all these psychos running around stabbing people and everything. Brandlin, who spent approximately $1,000, it seems like of his own money, on the renovation, was busted around 2 a.m. on March 14th when cops saw the father crossing the street as he was carrying the signage. This is one of those scenarios where I would rather have cops look the other way. Brandon, he branded the decision mind-boggling, citing other four-way stops in the city, and now risks jail after being charged with grand theft and vandalism over $400. All the while, these people are spray painting up our freeways, our highways, our signs, vandalizing stuff left and right, doing smash and grabs. Nothing happens to them, but this guy's making his community safe and clean again, and he gets arrested. How many times do I talk about this shit of how stuff is so ass backwards? It's mind-blowing. And by the way, now you de-incentivize stuff like this occurring because now people are getting arrested and they don't want to do it. That's why people don't get involved in all this other stuff like, oh yeah, there's a guy beating the crap out of another guy. Why are people just out there with their phones? One, because they want him to get a viral clip, but two, because they'll probably be sued. If I saw the same thing, I'd just call the cops. I wouldn't get involved because I don't want to be sued. I don't want to be arrested either. So remember how I said, if you had a pothole that was like 40 feet deep, I'm being stupid with it, but you understand, you're going to get arrested for filling that pothole or fined. The city won't do it, but you do it. You take matters in your own hand with your own money, not even taxpayer money. You pay for it yourself and you get arrested. Ass backwards. They should be thanking this man. They should be refunding this guy, especially if he pulled this off. If this is his work, hold on. I was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts. I was treated like a serious criminal with an effort that was motivated solely by the concern of the children of this neighborhood. Despite jail fears, he has no regrets. Good. Nor should you, sir. If his actions mean fatalities are going to be avoided. So he did do this. This is his work. Look at this. Look at this. This isn't even sloppy stuff. Now, he hasn't painted it yet. It looks like it's the template. You wouldn't have even known. He's probably going to do better work than these city workers do. They're paying probably these guys to paint these things $100,000 because they're union workers, right? And they always do a sloppy job. It never works out, right? It's never enough paint. Like, why are you being stingy on the paint? Can I ask this question? You guys that paint this shit on the road, why are you always stingy? You know, it's like they're working at Chick-fil-A, or not Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. Why are you being stingy on the rice? It's rice. Why are you being stingy on the paint? Paint the fucking thing. It's not you're paying for it. You're not paying for it. You're getting paid $120,000 to paint something on the road. Look, I'm happy for you. But this guy was going to do good work. I could tell. It's going to be good work. He got the cones out there. He has the freaking, the whole stencil out. You guys got to see this if you're on your phone. And then he was going to paint it. I guarantee you he wasn't going to be a tightwad on the paint either. It's good work. Look at it. It has the wood out there so it doesn't leak under. This is going to be good stuff. I just know it. Look at the stop sign. He put that stop sign in. Look at it. You couldn't even tell. It's straight. You know that guy was out there with the leveler. You know he was out there putting his phone up to it. Right? Here's the pole. Hold on a second. Look at me. Here's the pole, right? He's out there and he just takes the leveler. We're good. All right, moving on. You know he was doing that at like 2 a.m. I'll do it again if that's what it takes. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Get this guy for mayor. Because I'm not going to wait for somebody else to die. Stuff is just, it's like a movie. I like this guy. I like you, Brandlin. I like you a lot. Said the intersection is located 100 feet from a rebuilt park that became a popular destination for families and children. This guy's a treasure. This is this type of guy you want. Look at this work. It's not sideways, right? You know what I'm talking about too. These people are just half-assing their work. Get paid a ton of money to half-ass their work. Only working half days too. It's like stop sign. Like stupid. It's great work. Great craftsmanship. Get this guy out here from work community stuff. Where's the neighborhood lobbying for this guy? Look at this. America first, America only. Look at that shirt, baby. It's the little things. I like this guy. Oh, God, we should start a GoFundMe for him and get his money back. That's a good one to end off on. It's a good one to end off. It's not a good one that he got arrested. I don't like that stuff. But I mean, it's nice to see people like this. You know what I mean? They're out there. It just lets you know they're out there. I gotta go to the chat, see what you guys said. He's like safety Robin Hood. Yes. Yes. This is why we have the best chat. People put slow signs like a little. Yeah, I've seen that. The little plastic man, like kids here, slow down. So what you do is you speed up. No, I'm kidding. We live in a effed up world. We really do. That's better paint than the city would have done, right? I mean, you know, just by that guy's craftsmanship, right? He physically brought the wood with him and got his own stencils. The guy put $1,000 into this. You know, he researched the type of paint that goes on asphalt that's going to make it work, that's going to be lasting, and he's doing multiple coats. You know, he's that guy, the type of work. You should know that type of guy, right? He's doing multiple coats. This thing's going to last 10, 20 years. Probably never have to paint it again. Actually, this thing will it'll last a nuclear explosion. So they can paint it again in a couple of months. That's job security. Yeah, you're right, Candy. That's if the city workers do it. Yep. Brownlee did a great job. Certainly does not look like a do-it-yourself project. The city workers are sweating bullets that they might be replaced. I mean, that's how things used to be, right? We used to just do stuff ourselves, and it's kind of sad that nobody really does that anymore. I know, like, when I still lived at my mom's place, my neighbor is a cool guy, Mike. He was out there tearing up city stuff. Granted, you know, he didn't want to do certain things with it, and I came out there. I think I had a wheelbarrow and trash cans. He's like, "Hey, throw some stuff in here." I helped him out really quickly. You know, just there. Things are different times. All right, folks. Well, we're done. I really liked to end it off on that story. That was fun. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. I hope you enjoyed your time here on the show. If you're new, hit that like and subscribe button. We're here each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. That's 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are a morning show, and you're not going to find a morning show like this that has this much energy. Not at 6 a.m. Maybe for those that live in Texas or something that start at 9 a.m. themselves, or 8 a.m. or 10 or 11 on the East Coast or whatever. Yeah, they have energy because it's 10 or 11. They've woken up already. Not me. I gotta bring the entertainment for you, and that's what we do here, folks. It's just me here. I do this all by myself. There's no people are always amazed. There's no producers. This is literally, I push the buttons. I have proof. I push all the buttons. I have it here. I do everything myself. Look at me. Pat myself on the back. Woo! Alrighty. Well, have a blessed weekend. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for things to get figured out. Pray that people receive wisdom to make the right decisions. Read your scripture. Read your Bible, folks. We all know. You don't have to go, Christ is king. We know Christ is king. We're Christians. We get it. Okay, but read your scriptures, read the Bible, all that stuff like that. And I'll see you Monday here on the Bull Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.